Hey everybody and welcome in. I'm Griffin.
And I'm John.
And today we have a lot to go over with you because it looks like a lot of e-bike sales are kicking off early this year.
That's exciting.
Not only that, but we're seeing two titans of the e-bike industry coming together.
Okay.
And speaking of coming together, we're actually seeing two worlds collide I never thought would. Golfing and e-bikes.
That's unexpected.
Yeah, go figure. So anyway, there is a lot to get you caught up on, especially on our review front.
Let's get into the weekly recharge. All right, so now we're gonna get into some cool finds that we've stumbled across on the internet. And actually, we haven't seen these videos yet, so you're gonna get our live reactions. Let's take a look.
All right, what do we got? So first up, over to Instagram, Marley Blancsy of Bentonville, Arkansas.
Okay.
I think someone's having themselves a new bike day.
Wow, that's a super cool bike.
Yeah, it's the Cannondale Cargo Wagon Neo. Really pretty area too. Looks like they're gonna be braking in the cargo bike on a little
Off-roading?
little off-roading maybe.
Very cool.
Very nice. Gotta dig the red accent.
Yeah, that rack is super cool. Next up, we have from Ottawa Bike and Trail, a new e-bike day for Jack. This is an IMA e-bike.
Oh yeah.
No, sorry, Big Sur. There we go.
Big Sur.
Okay.
Heard of them. Ooh, that looks really nice. Awesome. Jack's looking happy too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jack.
What's not to love?
Brother, enjoy it. Let us know how the ride is.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Next up, still on Instagram, Santos Wesley got himself a brand new Rad Power bikes. Heck yeah, and he's bringing the little one
Rad
in tow.
Runner. He's got the surf rack.
Yeah, surfboard right
Very
there.
cool.
Gonna do some surfing and some e-biking. Look at how happy they look, and she looks stoked.
She's sweet, yeah.
She's adorable.
Right on.
Cool.
Very cool.
Okay, next up,
We have...
more new e-bikes, this time over on Reddit from Herp McDerp.
Love the name.
I'm jealous of that name. Okay, I just picked up my first e-bike event abound. San Diego's definitely a great place to ride around.
What a beautiful view, man. That's perfect.
Once again with the kiddos, enjoying some popsicles, some Halloween decor, digging every bit of it.
Also, that bike looks pretty well outfitted. Nice job.
Yeah. Okay, next up, let's see.
It's the day for cargo e-bikes, apparently. From Bike YYC, we have...
Cargo biking into the long weekend complete with 2 child seats. Got a strong family theme going. Cargo bikes make sense, but cool.
It's a really cool looking bike.
Yeah,
Love the color.
That's a Benno bike right there. It looks real sharp.
Yeah.
Digging the photo.
Right on.
All right, then we have
up.
my perfect e-bike, Pop Smoke.
Okay. Taking the lawn chair along for the ride.
Sometimes the saddle just won't cut it. You got to get something with a proper backrest.
Do you think the electric bike company saddle would be better than that?
Maybe, I don't know. I got a love for the lawn chair, man.
That's pretty rad. Nice.
That's cool.
Good back support. Moving on from Hemingway Official.
E-bike dies in the middle of nowhere.
We've all been there.
Not a fat bike.
Save me.
Drinking.
Pretty cool
C5?
bike he has. It's
Oh, we got the tow rope.
Okay. That's doing it right.
It's like the call of shame, but at the same time, like everyone needs a buddy who will bring the tow rope and, get you back home. No one wants to pedal the heavy e-bikes. So
No, that's not a lot of fun.
get yourself a friend like this guy has.
Right on.
Okay, next
up.
Back to the Reddit e-bikes thread. I saw this New York City delivery driver with 10,000 miles on his electric XP.
Holy
He said,
smokes.
no issues, just brakes and tires, still in the original battery from DPL 646. That is awesome.
I used to do food delivery, so mad respect, man. That's super cool.
Sometimes people will be like, oh, $1,000 e-bike, like it's not gonna last. That's living proof that the thing lasts 10,000 miles on the original battery. That is awesome.
I really wonder how long it took him to put that many miles on. That could be a couple months, could be a couple years.
I mean, delivery driver, yeah, probably getting heavy usage. And then finally, let's see,
That's decked out.
3 years riding the Rad Runner, best investment I ever made. I absolutely love everything about this bike. Still have lots of work on it, but overall been amazing. Here's to another winter of snow riding. That is sweet. That is an upgraded. That is not custom.
Yeah, no, that saddle is
That
crazy.
spring-loaded saddle.
Holy smokes.
My goodness, you got a lot of cords and cables running up front too. I think we got some custom lights. Those tires look massive. Okay, so someone has
Deck this thing out.
decked this out to the nines.
Looks
Lots
like a
of Rad Runner
motorcycle
love.
straight
Yeah.
up, like right on.
But 3 years in,
And this was
can't
from
wait to see what it looks like.
Funerman?
Fun
Something like that. Anyway, sorry about that. We butchered it.
Okay.
That covers everything for this section, right?
Yeah, I think so. Some awesome e-bikes out there.
Let's move right along.
Okay, John, now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the biggest headlines in e-bikes this week.
What do we have?
So starting things off, we have a Seattle startup that raised $1.25 million for electric bikes used on golf courses.
That's very exciting, but it also looks like a trike, not a bike.
It's a little bit more trike-ish than bike-ish, but I think that's fine. So this news comes from GeekWire, where they say that the brand Fairway Bikes has partnered with 50 different golf courses already for new funding that will help fuel production. And unlike other golf-focused EV options, this isn't just an e-bike with a rack for your bag slapped on it, said their CEO in a statement. It's a purpose-built product, and that shows while riding it. So I think this is actually really cool.
That is cool.
Just any more activity that you can get out there, a little bit of biking, and you've got 50 different golf courses that have already signed up for people to come on. That's awesome. I'm all for it, especially if that means fewer golf carts sold, because I got like 5 different ones ridden by teenagers ripping up through my neighborhood. Swap that out for a bike happily.
Well, and we've got some golfers on the team here, so maybe we'll see some locally. Who knows?
Sign me up.
Very cool. Next up, we have an announcement from electric bike company who just recently partnered with Pedigo. So I'll actually read the quote there for that one. Coming from electric bike company, this partnership aims to revitalize Pedigo's 200 locations across the US by introducing electric bike company's USA-made e-cruisers and its unique customization tools, including the design wall, where customers can design bikes. And you actually just did a recent video about that where you covered all of the customization options.
Yeah, I think this is actually going to be really cool for a couple of different reasons, because like you said, we highlighted electric bike company not that long ago because their products, when you really see them in person and see what they can do with that color customization, it's just something else entirely. Mm-hmm. So putting in that giant customization wall into, I think Pedigo has over 200 brick and mortar locations.
Yeah.
I think that's going to do wonders for both brands, gives people another reason to go check out Pedigo.
Absolutely.
And then people can get a better sense and taste for what EBC can do. So I think a lot of potential, could be a really cool mashup there.
Very exciting. What do we have next?
So in other e-bike news, UPS begins a 6-month test in France to help address urban mobility challenges. So this is coming from UPS directly. The quote here, so using an e-bike in the center of Paris will help make UPS deliveries more efficient, both in terms of the operational cost as well as an environmental impact. UPS sees itself as part of the solution to urban congestion and continues to work as a partner in reducing the environmental impact of package delivery in crowded city centers worldwide. So I like this for a couple of different reasons. I mean, it's UPS, they do more deliveries than anybody, and they are expanding their kind of use of e-bikes throughout different cities. Lots of places in Europe, especially in Germany, I know, seen a lot of this.
Sure.
Even here stateside in Pittsburgh, Fort Lauderdale, they're expanding to e-bike usage. It's a little bit more of a sensible solution. Lots of benefits, not stuck in traffic, less emissions and stuff like that. Seems like a big win to me.
That I agree, and I think we'll, maybe potentially see a lot more cargo bikes. It's a category that's kind of just growing in popularity. We talked about that very recently.
I mean, if it's good enough for UPS, it should be good for smaller local businesses who frequently run deliveries as well. So kind of excited to see how that catches on in the future.
Likewise, very cool. Yeah. And then to wrap things up, this is kind of a big one coming from California, from bicycle retailer. Governor Gavin Newsom of California recently signed into law a bill called SB 1271, which basically for the state of California redefines e-bikes and sort of separates the classes a little bit more. So of course we have class 1, 2, and 3 e-bikes. Class 1 and 2 go up to 20 miles per hour. Class 3 can offer pedal assist up to 28. Class 2 offers throttle. So basically what this bill says, and again, take a look at a quote from the article. So under the new definition, you could not have a Class 1 or Class 3 electric bike that has a throttle. As it is right now, a lot of e-bikes can be multiple classes. You can have a Class 2 and 3 e-bike.
Yeah, you toggle between the options, kind of switch it up however you need it.
And it doesn't seem like that's going to be an option anymore. So, and that's, you could have a Class 2 throttle bike that also has pedal assist. That is not prohibited, but it would need to be labeled as a Class 2 electric bicycle due to the throttle. So they're just kind of really trying to localize throttle use only to Class 2 labeled bikes, and then keep Class 1 and Class 3 with pedal assist completely separated from them.
And it'll be kind of interesting to see how manufacturers adjust to that, because having that ability to kind of swap between the classes as needed has always been nice, so it could just be compliant with wherever people are riding it.
Right.
My my initial reaction to this was I wasn't a huge fan of it, especially because
I agree.
Some of those Class 3 e-bikes going up to 28 miles per hour is actually kind of a big deal. It helps you feel a little bit more safe and secure when you're competing with traffic.
Yeah.
And I personally love the throttle for getting started to kind of like punch across, like intersections or something like that, not have to wait for that motor to kind of pick up on some of the pedal assist.
So that is something that plays into this. So this build does allow kind of a boost mode that gets you started off the line, only up to 3.7 miles per hour, which isn't really that useful.
Like I said, I like punching across those intersections,
Exactly.
and that's not quite the same thing. So we'll see how it all plays out, see how it goes with the adoption and rollout, but
we'll keep you updated.
Yep. So that's gonna do it for our news of the week.
All right, and then next up, we're going to take a look at some products currently in testing. So those are reviews that are going to be going live very soon. And then we also have one review that went live last week that we can talk about a little bit as well.
Yep, but before we dive into those, we actually have something we want to tease just a little bit. So So next week we're going to be having a review come out. It is for a bike that I can't talk too much about, not right now, without being sued. So I'm not.
Gotta love embargoes.
But it is from a very well-known brand, and they are diving into a new type of bike for them. It's a category they haven't tackled before, so it's going to be very awesome to see that review go live. So if you aren't yet, please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that.
Very exciting.
But in the meantime, there are some bikes that I can talk about. So let's kind of take a look at those. So
starting off with some EMTBs?
Yeah, we've got some things going on the EMTB front. So I've been testing out the Canyon Strie on CFR Underdog.
Carbon fiber.
It's a carbon fiber bike. It's been really awesome to ride around on. It's very burly build. It's got a Fox 38 on there, so it's more enduro styling. Really good for downhill, really fun for just kind of like bombing things. And it, of course, has Bosch's CX motor, which has been just really, really awesome. It's powerful, it's punchy. I love that motor overrun, kind of boosts you a little bit, just a second or so after you stop pedaling, but really helps you clear a lot of technical sections. So,
right on.
Been really big fan of that bike. Speaking of things I'm a big fan of, we are also testing out the Pivot Shuttle AM, if I can get through that. Now this bike is just
that thing's a beast.
It is top tier, everything on there. The build, the way it comes together is just really nice. So they also have a Bosch motor, but it's the race line motor. So it's the CX Performance Race. That thing is it's kicked up a notch. It takes everything up to 11, basically. A little bit more power, a little bit more overrun. Just works like a dream. You can speed, you can clear big hills. It just works awesomely. And along with that, it has the full suite of Fox equipment as well. You've got the Fox 36 factory, Fox Float X suspension, and even the dropper post is Fox, and it's all that gold Kashima coated stuff that looks awesome.
Beautiful.
And has a price tag to match. So I'm gonna have a very serious talk with my wife about rebudgeting some things to see if I can afford that one day. Man, it's awesome. But then you had a couple of things that you're in the works on. You got a bike repair stand and a bike stand as well?
Yeah, a couple of products from Feedback Sports that I went through last week. So first thing was the Pro Mechanic HD bike repair stand, which, if you're doing any kind of mechanical work on a bike, comes in very handy. This one can hold up to 100 pounds. So that includes all of your big fat tire e-bikes, all the big
moped style. I mean, this is as heavy duty as it gets amongst bike stands, and yet it's somehow oddly portable.
It is. It weighs 18 pounds. It folds up really well. It kind of unfolds just as easily. Definitely a super cool stand that we recommend. And then next up, we have the Rack 2.0E, which is a bike stand for your home. Definitely comes in handy on those EMTBs that don't come with kickstands. Allows you to stand them vertically. But this also has a charger tray, so you can basically turn your parking spot for your bike at home into a charging station.
I like it when they're kind of thinking through all the uses for e-bike specific stuff, so that's really awesome. We'd be lost without them. I mean, we got so many bikes without kickstands. It would just be a game of dominoes if we didn't have something that could hold them in place.
Absolutely, very, very handy there. And then last thing is we got the Vvolt Centauri II. So that is a really cool commuter style e-bike. Has a mid-drive with a Gates belt and a 3-speed internal gear hub, and that actually has automatic shifting.
Yep.
Very, very smooth, very cool.
I've been really impressed with Vvolt as a brand. They've just got very cyclist style bikes and stuff like that, and so seeing some of that tech come to there, it's gonna be really awesome. Can't wait to see all the test results come back on that.
This is definitely very dialed in. It's got a very cool monoshock suspension up front that you definitely don't normally see on this style of bike, and kind of has their great new overall design going on too. That sort of
definitely. They've got a good look to it. Yeah,
with the headlight kind of blended right in. And then, yeah, so we had one review go live last week.
Yeah,
What was that?
I think it was the Blix Vika X that you had done. So that one was
right.
really cool. Blix is just trotting out a whole bunch of new like technology that they're putting in their bikes. So this one saw some electronic shifting, even auto shifting on there. I mean, you did the
That's
review.
an option.
Yeah.
So yeah, electronic shifting, you have an automatic pedal assist mode, and then you have the option to activate automatic shifting with that. They're still kind of dialing that in, but it's a very cool feature, and it's not something that you see really on most folding bikes or many bikes at all in the $1,500 to $2,000 price range.
For me, I really love seeing that Blix is kind of keeping their like classic look and aesthetic because they have really unique designs, and I love the look of their bikes. And the Vika in the past has been one of the more like functional folding e-bikes. It comes together really well. It's more portable than most. You can move it around really nicely.
Definitely.
But taking that and then building in all that cool tech, like home run to me. So.
And we're going to see a lot of that on their kind of up and coming line of refreshed e-bikes. So we're really excited about that. Definitely check that review out if you haven't already. And like Griffin said, be sure to subscribe.
So next up, we want to highlight an e-bike trail system. Now, the goal of this segment is actually to help kind of uncover some hidden gems or talk about some bucket list destination rides. Sure. Half the fun of e-biking, it's a mode of transportation, sure, but a huge part of the fun is actually going to some of these trail systems, getting to check out a different side of the country, take in some of like that nature and whatnot. There's lots of really cool things out there. Now, we've been able to dig up and find some of our own, but we would love for some audience participation on this. Let us know what's going on in your own backyard or what you're proud of, and then we will highlight that in future episodes. But in the meantime, John did a little bit of digging this week and found one in Missouri we want to talk about. So John, walk us through what it is that you found.
Yeah, so this one absolutely jumped out. This is the Katy Trail State Park in Missouri, excuse me. This contains the Katy Trail, which is one of the longest bike paths in the country right now. It is 239 miles long.
Ooh, awesome.
It runs almost the full width from east to west across Missouri. It runs along the north side of the Missouri River. It's e-bike friendly. It's kind of a gravel path that runs along what used to be a rail line, so it's now defunct. And there's a lot of these similar bike paths kind of popping up as these areas are kind of being revitalized. So this crosses a handful of other trails along the way, and there's a lot of cool stuff around it too. There's things like bed and breakfasts, there's some pubs, you can pull off and rest, recharge your bike, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and there's like some awesome photos like that we found on here. I mean, like you said, it runs along an old railway, so you got some like train station stops, you've got some like tunnels going through the mountain and stuff like that.
Some cool bridges as well.
Some really awesome bridges. Like this is a really awesome, like I said, different kind of like side of, like Missouri, like you can really take in all that nature. It's really cool looking.
I gotta say, I would absolutely love to ride this trail. So if you've been on it, let us know down in the comments what you thought of it. All right, for this segment, we're gonna take a look at some questions and comments that we've had from YouTube. A lot of these were actually from our last episode of the show. A couple others scattered from other reviews.
We have one from Chow Chu Chi Huag 4903. I'm gonna butcher a lot of these names in future episodes. Just know that going into it. So
thank you for your comment.
But regardless. I really do love this question. So it is, I saw recently on another channel that lithium-ion batteries dropped to under $62 a kilowatt hour from $139 a kilowatt hour. This was back in 2023. Can we expect this material cost reduction to be reflected in e-bike battery pack prices? I don't expect a $500 pack to drop to $250, but it would be great to see it drop to around $350 or $400.
Very good question.
So that is a great question, and it's going to warrant a larger response because there's no direct yes, no that I can give you because there are so many different factors at play. So let's kind of stay at that high level macro view of just all the different things going on. So if battery pack prices were to drop because of that reduced cost to produce, it would be because of different things. Right now, it would likely be more due to the fact that the market is oversaturated with some e-bikes and some e-bike batteries.
That naturally brings costs down.
Yeah, if supply outweighs demand, that will of course lead to a drop in prices. Some brands may drop prices to encourage sales and clear out inventory. We're actually seeing a lot of that going on right now as we're heading into that Black Friday sales season.
We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, but it's not uncommon to see some brands, dangle an extra, like a spare battery or offer a free upgrade to the higher pack or something like that.
Absolutely.
But many of the batteries that are currently for sale were probably manufactured when costs were different. So just remember that when you get inventory in, it comes in at a certain cost and you have to clear a certain price threshold to have it make sense for you as the brand.
So even if brands want to offer battery packs at a lower price, it may take a little bit of time to get there. But then we
Yeah.
also have these other factors at play.
And then kind of as we project more out into the future of if we can expect those prices to drop, I mean, if domestic production of lithium were to ramp up, that would certainly help. There have been some stuff in Nevada, and even just the other week I saw something in Arkansas where like 19 million tons of lithium was discovered. So like, if they get cleared to like start mining and do that production here stateside, hopefully that does start dropping battery pack prices, a little bit or substantially.
That would be great. Right now everything pretty much comes from China, and that kind of brings up another thing with trade tariffs. So at the beginning of 2026, January 1st, 2026, actually, there's an additional 25% tariff that will be added to lithium-ion EV batteries. So that could raise prices again. Kind of the opposite direction of things.
So it's a kind of wrap this all up. It's a long-winded way of saying we hope it does go down in the future. There are certainly some things pointing to that it could, but over the long run, there's just a lot of different factors at play. We kind of have to just see how they all, balance out in the end.
Absolutely. Next up, we had a question from Nevamind932. Love the name.
Sure, you get an easy one to say.
Yeah. Do you folks have electric bike report t-shirts like this one for sale? So right now we don't, but we're open to the idea. So if you guys want shirts, if you want other merch, let us know down in the comments. We're happy to look into it at the very least.
I'm really glad that people are asking. I always thought I really liked our logo. So yeah, if it's something you're interested in, we'd be happy to look into more if you guys want to buy that. So
I want a mug. I want a coffee mug.
I would like a mug too.
That'd be great. What do we have next?
Let's see. So from Gary Clark 6747, do you think the multiple vendors that have extra battery included are coming from the fact that the industry is moving to potted cells, or is just mimicking other offers as to not lose market share, or a bit of both? Is everybody running their order for batteries out as they head toward the next order that they're going to place for potted cells? That is another really awesome question, and
A lot of questions about batteries
I'm
today.
gonna say batteries they're a hot topic. What do you think on this one? Do you think it's a byproduct of those potted cells or something else?
I think it's a combination of things. I mean, so the potted cells, that's definitely a really cool technology that I hope gets adopted more widely. But so far, we've only seen a handful of brands like Pedigo and Rad Power Bikes kind of go that route. Right now, I'd say the majority of brands are still using the kind of traditional technology, but also sales are kind of down across the industry. That's part of the reason why we're seeing a lot of these big sales where you are getting an extra battery thrown in. So it's definitely possible that brands are just really trying to encourage sales and get people in the door.
And especially at sales season, there's a lot of monkey see, monkey do. Like if someone else is offering a free battery, I better offer a free battery too. Like, you try and balance out that equation so that people are coming to you and not maybe your competitors. So, I do hope we see a shift to potted batteries. That would be a little extra safety is always a good thing. But in terms of, is that the sole reason? I don't know if it's the sole reason so much. Probably a little bit more, sales competition.
I think that's fair to say. And then finally, we have one from Blank 3737.
Oh, it's actually blank.
Yeah, no, that's it. So where TF did this dude get his phone holder? Can't find anything that looks that cool. Thanks for the props, appreciate that. That was on the iGo Core Extreme 3.1 EZ review that came out a few months ago. So we've actually had that question a lot. The phone mount that we use is from a brand called Penetri, I believe. It's just kind of a random find on Amazon. We'll actually drop a link down in the video description to that. So if you're interested in a good phone mount, definitely check that out.
And we'll leave a link to that one. We actually have two different style of phone holders, and there's one that everyone fights for because we all like that one more, and that's the one that you were talking about.
Yeah.
So the other one, it's heavy duty, but it's just can't swap it as quickly and easily as we like to do. So we'll leave a link down there so you can check that one out. But thanks again for these questions. These were really awesome responses to our request to send some stuff in. Let us know what other questions you guys have about the e-bike industry, and we'll tackle those in the next week's episode.
Absolutely.
All right, now we have our deals of the week. Deals of the week. All right, and so there are actually a lot of brands who are really getting into the whole Black Friday spirit very early this year. It seems like
very early.
October is the new November. So let's go ahead and run through these because there's actually a lot going on. So if you're looking to buy an e-bike, you don't actually have to wait till Black Friday.
Now is a great time.
Get while the getting's good. So First one up, we have Ride One Up. They are doing this, and they've even labeled it their early Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals. So a promo code is required, so just know that. But we're going to leave a link down to their sales page where you can see all those promo codes are just listed alongside the photo of the product. And it's anywhere from $150 to $900 off of 8 different models. Now, my favorite one will be the $900 off the original Prodigy XC. It's got a Broza motor, and it's an awesome, just mixed-use trail bike. It's something you can do a little bit of light.
That Katy Trail we talked about earlier,
Perfect for something like that, exactly. So next up, Lectric is handing out big accessory savings on the Expedition, the dual battery setup, as well as the X-Peak. So they are throwing in hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of free accessories. So the Cargo Bike X-Peak can get $455 worth of running boards, cushions, an orbiter, the extra large panniers, and frame bag. That's really cool. They're actually doing
orbiter is like the handrail thing.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
But what I love about that is usually when there's like a Cargo Bike accessory deal, it's something like here's your kid package, or here's your cargo hauling package. They're actually kind of giving you just both.
Everything.
So, everything you need right there.
Next up, we have Canyon sale. So they're selling out on EMTBs. They have $1,000 off the Spectral On, and that includes the Shimano EP8 motor, mid-drive, a Dior drivetrain, and the RockShox Lyric.
So we talked a little bit earlier about how we're doing the Spectral On, the CFR Underdog. This one's a little bit, or this is the Spectral On one, a little bit different, but like a lot of really good components there. $1,000 off. I mean, that's great savings.
That's killer. Next up, we have a sale from Giant Bikes. So the Trance X is $3,000 off. That has the Yamaha mid-drive, Fox Float, and DPS. Has the 12-speed Shimano Dior drivetrain.
It's a 140, 150 setup, so a little kind of like all mountainish setup, maybe a little bit XC, but I mean, for $3,000 off, that's a really compelling deal. And I really love that Yamaha motor. It's especially punchy when you're starting out on stuff. It's a little bit more extra kick than some of the other EMTBs that we've seen. But next up, so Rad Power Bikes is doing their Halloween sale. Spooky. Let's see, $150 to $300 off of the bike, and that includes some extras as well. So we highly recommend...
I believe 3 models that they have on sale.
Yeah, 3 different models, but we highly recommend the Rad Runner 2, which is $150 off, and you also get a free accessory worth up to $150. They have passenger package, suspension seat post, hard storage container, and more. Love the Rad Runner. Getting some extra accessories on top of it makes it a little more functional and usable. What's not to love?
Yep.
And then next up, we have the Hemingway Autumn Campaign. That's $100 to $400 off 3 different models, either the high step or step 3 model of the D3 Cruiser. Classic one there is $400 off. It's a great bike for just $1,300. That's actually like a bike we've been recommending for years.
100%.
Wicked fun, wicked fast. I mean,
it's on our best pages.
I was gonna say, I've called it the bat out of hell. That thing can just take off and fly. So for $1,300, it's really
worth looking into. And then to wrap things up, we have the Retro Spectacular sale. Sorry, that was a bit of a mouthful. They have free shipping on all orders over $35, and then between $100 to $400 off 8 different models. And kind of the one that jumped out to me the most is actually one of the most affordable. The Beaumont Rev 2, that is very similar to a couple of their other cruisers. It's a little bit more of a commuter style setup there. But so normally that retails for $999. That is on sale for $899. So killer bike. That's something that Retrospec is really great at, is making bikes that kind of punch above their weight class or their price point. And I think this is just a great deal.
As for $900, that's... we don't really recommend stuff lower than that. So that is really awesome. So like we said, lots of brands are getting into the game early. So we'll leave links down below so you can navigate to those and see the sales that we mentioned here today.
All right, so then before we wrap things up, we want to take a second to kind of talk about you guys, our audience, and kind of highlight riders that we hear about, get some feedback for. We love hearing about how you use your bikes. So for this week, we're highlighting a user. Their name is CocoVox, I believe. They commented on last week's episode. They said, "Thank you guys for the excellent reviews." You're welcome, and thanks for watching. But South Utah looks gorgeous. I and my wife both have Ride One Up Prodigy V1, and we go almost everywhere with those bikes. Work, grocery shopping, library, daycare, recreational biking, and so on.
Okay.
Our car just stays in the garage. We put over 400 miles on each bike in less than 2 months. We love our electric bikes. They improved our quality of life immensely.
That's so awesome to hear. Like, we love those stories.
that's why we do what we do.
I was gonna say,
Like,
e-biking is just a load of fun. Like, it's something we think everyone should be into it. So we're so glad to hear that you're having like a good time with you and your wife out on the bike. So that's gonna do it for us this week. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Please make sure that you keep the questions and comments coming.
Absolutely.
We love tackling those and diving into those each week with you guys, and we would love to highlight some more riders. So make sure you tag us in the comments or on social media. Share photos of your bikes and where you're riding, stuff like that. We'd love to kind of help explore that some more. In the meantime, I'm Griffin.
I'm John, and have fun out there.